in your note packet. But even more importantly, let's talk about this week. So today we're going to do your D7 notes, which you have a few notes there to do. Then tomorrow we'll start reviewing. Wednesday we'll do some more reviewing, and then Thursday of this week is going to be your test. Okay? So the test this week, Thursday, on solving equations with 1 step, 2 steps, distributing, combining like terms, all that fun stuff. Okay? Alright? So multiple distributes and all that stuff. Did we get the joke of the day? What do you get if you cross a math teacher and a clock?
Mathematics.
Arithmetics.
Wait, it's always jokes up there?
That's been since September, actually since August, yeah.
I don't know that.
All right, let's jump back into it. I know it's been a while we've been into this stuff, but let's. So, what do like terms? Now, this is from way, way back. What do like terms have? Jesse, give it to me. Say, what was the second part? Sorry. Variable. Same variable, and then the variable has all of the same exponents, right? Okay. Same variable and the same exponents on it. Yes, that makes a like term. Okay. And you can only add or subtract when we're combining like terms. What do we add or subtract? Anybody remember what we add and subtract?
Like,
But what do we add and subtract in the like term? It's a C word. So yeah, we only add and subtract the coefficients of them. Okay? And so when we combine like terms, we're adding and we're subtracting the coefficients, not changing the variable at all. Okay? So with that being said, as a warm-up, okay, so we'll do these 4 as our warm-up. So simplify these 4 right here. And that's it. Just simplify those 4 and then stop. All right. So in this first one, the terms that I can combine, there's an x term, there's another x term. If I've got 4 of one x's and you take 9 of them away, that leaves me with negative 5x for those. I can't combine that with the 7, so then this is just negative 5x plus 7 there as my answer for that. Agree with that? Okay. In number 2, there's an a term, but there's not another a term, so that's going to stay. There's a 5, and then there's a 9. Constants are always like terms, so those 5 minus 9 is still negative 4. Negative 5, yeah. So 5 minus 9 is negative 4. So then this one would be 2a minus 4. Yes? Okay. Got to distribute first, so we take this 1/3 and we distributed it in there, and we distributed it in there. 1/3 times 9x over 1 is like 9x over 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3x. 1/3 times 6 over 1 is like 6 over 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I get 3x minus 2 there, and nothing here we gotta do a double distribution. We gotta distribute there, we gotta distribute there. 10d times 1/2 would be 5d. 8 times 1/2 would be 4. And we've got to distribute this positive 3 into both of those. That would give me plus 3x and minus 6. Now we can combine like terms. Is there any other d term? No, there's no other d term, so that's going to stay 5d. Is there any other x term? No, so that's going to stay plus 3x. But these two, positive 4 minus 6, combine together to be negative 2. 5d plus 3x minus 2. There. Questions, comments, concerns, clarification? All right. Get into solving now. Yeah. From last week and the week before, what is our very first step when we solve? We're going to distribute first. Okay? So we're going to distribute in anything first. Do all of those distributions. Okay? Still haven't come up with a second step yet. That'll come up next unit. That's when we'll get that second step. Third step. We're going to combine like terms. Yep. We're going to combine all of our like terms. So now we've got terms all combined it, and it all looks nice and pretty and all set to go. Okay? All right? So now how do we go about actual solving? So far we've just prepped already. It's 5, so we want to move stuff, and how in this step, so right from here, we want to do what? No, but what do we want to do? What do we want to get our equation to look like in the very end? So we want our variable, because we're not always using x, we want to get our variable by itself. That's one thing that we've been lacking on. After that combining of the like terms step, then we want to get our variable to be all by itself so that we can solve it. That's rule number 1. You know that. Fine. Up or out. That's your two choices. Okay? And then you said what, Jesse, at the very last? Multiplying or dividing. Okay? And again, we want to get so that we have variable equals number or number equals variable. And variable is just the letter, nothing else there. Okay? So over here in that extra box, we simplify expressions and we solve equations. Okay? So in those 4 that we just did, we can only simplify those because they were expressions. They didn't have an equal sign. Okay? All right? We only simplify. Stay with me. I got more stuff to add. Okay? All right? We only simplify expressions and we solve equations. Now, with that being said too, equations have what? How do I know it's an equation and not an expression? What does an equation have that an expression doesn't? Yeah, it's got an equal sign, yep. And equations have an equal sign, and an expression does not. Okay? Write that down. That's very important because of what you can do with it. These 5 steps only work for n. equation. They don't work for an expression. The only thing that works for an expression is combining like terms and distributing. Okay? So that would be where you would stop if you were solving if you were simplifying an expression, excuse me. If you go all the way down, that means you have to have an equals. In number 3.
Why we made it number 3. It's kind of weird. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, then we went back to 3.
In number 3, do I have any distributing? That was step number 1. Do I have any distributing to do? No, no distributing. Step 2, we don't know until next unit. Step 3 says we need to combine like terms. Are there any terms that we can combine?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Alright.
These two right here, this 4x and this positive x, combined to be what? 5x. So we got 5x minus 6 equals 4. Any other like terms that we can combine? No? Riley, head up. Okay, so we're done with combining like terms. So we're done with step 3. Step 4, what does step 4 say? Add or subtract. What am I going to add or subtract? Add or subtract it? Add it? Why add it? Why do I have to add it? Because it's what? Because it's being subtracted. So I got to do the opposite. So I've got to add 6 to both sides. Okay? That gives me what? What does that give me then? 5x equals 10. For all of you that seem to already be done with this problem, you certainly don't want to be talking about it. I'm looking around the room and some people are doing homework like they shouldn't be doing. Everybody's got these problems done, but yet nobody's participating. Must be a post-Thanksgiving turkey layover yet. Okay? All right? What's next now? 5 by 5. Okay, because we're multiplying by 5. So we've got to divide both sides by 5. Oops. Mr. H would be mad if I didn't do that. Do that. And what do we get? 10 divided by 5 is 2. Alright? Now, what's our next step? It's not on our list, but it should be step number 6. We should check it. 4 times 2. 8 plus 2 minus 6 is 4 equal to 4. Yep, so now we can brag about our work. Check and brag. Okay? Those of you that haven't done number 4 yet, do number 4 at this time. So right off the start, we've got x's on the same side. Those two can both be combined to be negative 4x. Nothing else combines, so then I can subtract 3. We'll cancel that out. That gives me negative 4x equals negative 10. Then I can divide both sides by negative 4. Cancels that out. That gives me x. And then that's going to equal a negative divided by a negative is positive. 10 fourths, 10 and 4 are both even, so I can divide them both by 2. So it would be 5 halves. Now I got to check it. 2 times 5 halves. 2 times 5 halves, that's like 2 over 1 times 5 halves, which is 10 over 2, which is 5, plus 3, 6 over 1 times 5 over 2 is 30 over 2, which is 15. So we get 5 plus 3, which is 8, minus 15, which is negative 7, and negative 7 is equal to negative 7. Check. Right. Try those two. Try 5 and 6. So at first, I can combine those two together, and that's going to leave me with y divided by 5, and then positive 4 minus 7 is going to be minus 3, equaling negative 5. Then we're going to add 3 to both sides because we're subtracting 3. So we have to add it to move it to the other side. And that's going to leave me with y divided by 5 equals negative 2. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 because I'm dividing by 5. So then these cancel each other out. And that leaves me then with y equals negative 10. Now now I have to check it so that I know right away that I'm right or not. Because if I'm not right, I'm not going to go on to the next one. Okay?
Right.
So 4 is 4. Negative 10 divided by 5. What is negative 10 divided by 5? That's negative 2. So this is 4 plus negative 2, and then we've got a minus 7. 4 plus negative 2 is really like 4 minus 2, right? Which is 2. 2 minus 7 is negative 5, and negative 5 is negative 5.
God will always be with me.
Now we know that we're right.
I know it right from how it is.
What's our last step?
Huh?
What's our last step in every problem? Check it. Don't be lazy.
I know I'm right.
Distribute first. Okay. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times negative x. Negative 3x. That is 18. Anything to combine? Nope, nothing to combine. So then we're on to our adding and subtracting step. Subtracting 12. Here is where lots of people made their mistake. They didn't see this negative sign there, which carried to that negative sign there, which makes that be negative 3. So really I have to divide here by negative 3. And positive divided by a negative is negative. And so a lot of people there, when I was walking around the room, we had positive 2 there for an answer, and we got 6 equals 18, which doesn't fly. Okay? So 4 minus negative 2 . 4 minus negative 2 is like 4 plus 2, which is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay?
Go look at that.
All right?